Hello, it's Lisa here. How are you doing? I am here today to talk about finding your true self or coming home to yourself. So you may have noticed that as you're healing or you're going through your awakening, whatever you want to call it, that you start to see things that all line up. Like you either keep seeing the same things or people will keep telling you about the same things. I remember when I first started healing, and quite a few people told me to read the Celestine prophecy. So I did, and you'll keep hearing the same thing from different places, and you'll start to become more aware of where you need to focus your energy. And that's your intuition waking up. That's the part of you that knows. It's like your sixth sense. And if you're a wild heart or a highly sensitive person, you have very strong intuition, and it's good for you to be tuned into that. That is the part of you that keeps you safe. That is the part of you that knows all the answers. That is the part of you that some people might call your higher self, but it doesn't give in to that voice of fear that gives you a hard time. So before I came on camera, I was thinking, I want to tell them the story about Paddington. He's in this little bag. He's in a Ziploc bag. He was a bit muddy and he needs a clean. Oh, he smells horrible. Sorry, Paddington, I will give you a wash. I found him on the road outside while I was walking the dog. But the reason why he's so significant is not because I think he'd been wheeled over by cars and he was covered in mud and he doesn't smell too great. And I don't know if he's winking or he's only got one eye. I think he's a keychain that fell off someone's bag. But the reason why this caught my eye, well, what are the chances of finding that on the side of the road, first of all, was because recently I did a reading. So I did one of my 2024 energy readings for a client. And when I was reading for her, in my mind's eye, I saw this teddy bear on the wall, and it had like been left there and it had holes in it and it was bedraggled and it was dirty and it was like no one cared about it. And for me, that symbolises abandonment or rejection. And many of us, because we are the most sensitive member of our family, have often been or felt like we've been rejected and abandoned because our family don't understand us. We feel different, and then we feel like we don't belong. But it isn't that really. It's most probably because you are the most sensitive person in your family. You're probably feeling the things that aren't being said, aren't being expressed. You're probably sensing things that other people can't see. And then when you talk about them, that frightens the other people, either because they're not aware of it, so they might refute your claims and be in denial about it, or because they don't want to look at it because it's too painful. So I thought, what are the chances that I do this reading for this client and then I find a little teddy bear along the road? And so I want to read to you what I wrote on Facebook. I put a post on my Facebook page. I don't know where I'm at with my social media at the moment, so you'll have to forgive me. I am all over the place since I shut my Facebook group. I'm aware that I need to be somewhere. I don't know where I belong. Oh, what are the chances? I think the best way for you to stay in touch with me if you're interested is to sign up for the newsletter on the homepage of my website. It's smileyforlife.com, and I'll put a link below here for you. But let me just read what I wrote on the Facebook page. Because if you're someone who struggles to feel like you belong, or you're looking for home, or you can't seem to find home, or you don't feel at home in your own body, then I think you're going to like this video. I found this muddy and rather bedraggled Paddington on my walk today. Paddington's story is about finding a home where he belongs. I think this is what many of us who are healing are seeking. But first we must find home inside of ourselves, for we belong to us. Belonging is when you can truly be yourself and the people around you love you for it. Love is a deep form of shared belonging. I'm going to say that again. Love is a deep form of shared belonging. Paddington's first home is destroyed by a huge fire, and his Aunt Lucy, who looks after him, is put into a home for retired bears. With nothing left and nowhere to go, Aunt Lucy sends Paddington on a difficult journey to London in the hope of a better life. All he has with him is a suitcase. This one doesn't even have a suitcase. I think he probably did have one in his hand. Feels like something was stuck there, but it's fallen off. He's lost his suitcase. All he has with him is a suitcase and a note that reads, "Please look after this bear, thank you." Paddington reminds us to look after ourselves or to learn how to, especially when life is challenging or painful. Where there are endings, there is loss and so much sadness. Paddington sends you a hug today and wants you to be gentle with yourself. When Paddington arrives, London is not as welcoming as he had expected. He is ignored by almost everyone he meets until the kind Brown family offers him a place to stay. That's very true for a lot of us because we're probably drawn to people who are like our family of origin. So if the first group of people that you belong to, you felt abandoned or rejected by them, then unconsciously your inner child will go and seek out people like that so you can reenact that trauma and make it end differently. Obviously, people who can't see you, who are emotionally cut off from themselves, who can't see themselves, that story's never going to change, unfortunately. But it's recognising when we're doing it, I suppose. Paddington reminds us to offer ourselves compassion and kindness as we navigate rejection and disappointment in life or abandonment. You can't technically be abandoned as an adult. It's your inner child who feels abandoned. Adults in adult relationships can choose to leave and end. It's only parents that can abandon children. And that's the original wound that we have to work on. We must not give up. Oh, I've lost my place. Excuse me. We must not give up. Other people's treatment of us is in no way a reflection of how lovable we are. It is a reflection of how they feel about themselves. So the lie that we've been told in childhood is that we are not lovable, that it's okay to just reject us or abandon us because we're somehow different. We're all meant to be different. We're not meant to be the same. And we must let go of that lie and acknowledge that we are lovable just as we are. Isn't that from the film Bridget Jones? I love you just as you are, Bridget. Once settled with the Brown family, the story follows Paddington's adventures in the city, from his adventures on Portobello Road to eating marmalade at every opportunity he gets. Yeah, trauma will do that to you. You'll eat on your feelings. Bless him. It always reminds me of that sketch with Queen Elizabeth, our queen. She did a sketch, I think it was for the Jubilee, with Paddington Bear, and she took a marmalade sandwich out of her handbag and said, I always have this for emergencies. Paddington reminds us to keep seeking out adventures and explore life with curiosity. Just because life has shown us the flip side of love, grief, loss, it does not mean we have to hide away forever. The grief that comes from the inner child is also for what we didn't have growing up. So if you had caregivers who were not emotionally attuned, who were emotionally cut off, who were emotionally neglectful, who couldn't see you because they couldn't see themselves, then yeah, that is also a loss. That is, you deserved more than that, and you should have been parented in a very different way, especially when you're a wild heart or a highly sensitive person. We live our lives through our hearts. We're very connected into our feelings. We feel things very, very deeply. And so to be around people who aren't wired up in that way, well, you would feel invisible or ignored and dismissed. Or you're told that you're too much, you're too sensitive, or you've taken it the wrong way. You get gaslit then, you get told, you've taken it the wrong way, that's not how it is really. Paddington knows how much courage we have, and he reminds us that courage is called on in the face of fear. We must not let fear have power over us. Yeah, and our fear, which comes from our early conditioning, and it may not be your family of origin, it may be at school, it may have happened at school, but it most likely is your family. That you will be full of fear because your brain has a trauma related to being different and therefore being rejected. So there's a little file back here that goes, oh, I don't want that to happen again. So then you start to behave differently to try and fit in because you're scared. You have a lot of fear around that happening again. But not everyone is like your family of origin. And it's finding those people that are your people, your tribe. Paddington goes on to become a universally loved character, treasured by his optimism, sense of fair play and perfect manners, the most beautiful ingredients for a teddy bear companion. Paddington reminds us that when we are true to ourselves, the right people, our people, will love us just as we are. First, we must be our own best friend and love ourselves. Love is in our daily actions and how we treat ourselves. Yeah, so if you've been, the way that we were loved by our parents is the way that we were loved ourselves. So if you've been emotionally neglected and rejected and abandoned by your family of origin, you will unconsciously do that to yourself. It's the same if you've been unfairly or harshly punished as a child. You will be very punitive to yourself. And it's sometimes really hard to let those loving acts of self-care in. And then I just went on to say, this week I did a 2024 energy read for a client, and in my mind's eye I saw a bedraggled teddy bear on a wall, and it unlocked an old memory and some deep healing for her, and I wanted to pass that healing on. Yeah, so I feel like I found this teddy bear, and that was a nod to my own feelings of abandonment and rejection, and I wanted to pass that on to you and say that you are lovable, and anyone that rejects you, or any parent that rejects a child, is very, very traumatized or very, very sick. And that was not your fault. And there was nothing you did wrong. There was absolutely nothing you did wrong. Paddington symbolizes the inner child within who feels alone. Your inner child is the key to loving and healing yourself. She's waiting for you. You are the only person who can bring her home. So this is the work that I do with people. So my work's quite unique in that I use a blend of inner child work and journaling. And then I also use the cards, and you'll see me use the cards here on this channel. And I'm going to put you down now, Paddington, because you're a little bit wet and a bit smelly. So I'm going to put you, oh, see, I don't want to abandon him. I'm just leaving you there, right? You'll be all right. But I don't use the cards to predict the future. I use the cards as a mirror, because the cards speak the language. They have the symbolism of our intuition. Our intuition understands symbols, objects, colours, energy. So it's learning to speak the language of your intuition. So it's funny because I was making myself a cup of tea and look what mug I picked. Awesome People Club. And inside it says, everyone is welcome. Be in my club or in our club. Big heart on the front. I've got a mug cupboard. All of my tea mugs have got hearts on them in some way. So what are you thinking as you're watching this video? Is this resonating with you? I thought what we do is pull some cards and talk about it a bit more and see what comes up. Because I do think in order to find your true self, you need to go within and you need to be a friend. You need to rewrite your beliefs around what love is and what healthy relationships look like. You need to go inside and work out what it is you really want and who you really are, because often we can morph into what other people want us to be. We lose our sense of self very easily in relationships. And if you watched a video that I posted on here recently about energetic boundaries for highly sensitive people, you'll see how we often just get blended with other people because we need to establish our boundaries and find our edges. So before I came on camera, I pulled a card from this deck. You never believe the one I pulled. I thought, oh damn, why did I do it off camera? I should have done it on camera. It's Believe in Your Own Magic is the card deck by Amanda Lovelace. And this was the card that I pulled. Escapism, come home to yourself. So look at her. She's sat in her bed with her journal, or maybe she's reading a self-help book. And she's being with herself. Now, those of us that find it very difficult to be alone, and that was me 15 years ago. Now I love my own company. I've swung completely the other way and I love quiet time and alone time, and I need that to recharge my batteries and to balance my nervous system and just to, you know, self-reflect. I'm a very deep thinker. I think lots of highly sensitive people are. So what do you, look at what you're drawn to when you see the card. Bed might be your safe space. Do you like journaling? What else can we see on there? There is a magic that's coming out of this journal. I don't know if you can see it. There's like sparkles that are coming out of the journal. So the power inside of you comes out when you write on the page, because as you write on the page, you can tell the truth to yourself, and you can see who you are. You can see exactly who you are, and you can see exactly how you feel and exactly what's going on for you. So I like that card. I don't know if there's anything else you're drawn to on there. I suppose I'm drawn to the lilac, to the purple colour. Purple is the colour of your intuition. And your intuition, well, some people say it's your third eye. They say it's here. Some people are like, well, follow your heart. Your heart does have its own language. Some people say you feel it in your gut. It's a gut feeling. It will be different for everyone. So write in the comments how you experience your intuition, if you are aware that you experience it. Let's pull some other cards to go with this one. So coming home to yourself. So feeling at home in your own body. Let's have another one of these. Feeling at home in your own body. Because what happens is, if you don't belong to yourself and you don't know who you are and you're not confident about who you are, you'll ping pong around and try and fit in. I don't know if you remember doing that at school, you know, like wanting to be in the trendy gang and never being in the trendy gang, and maybe wanting to have a boyfriend because everyone had one, or wanting to be picked for the netball team and feeling like you were never chosen. You must choose yourself. You must choose yourself first, because by changing who you are to fit in, you are actually then abandoning yourself. If you say yes when you mean no, you're abandoning yourself. You're not listening to yourself. Right, can we have another card to go with escapist? Also, that escapist card is number 32, and the 3 and the 2 add up to 5, and that's the energy of change. And so I wonder if this is the energy that's coming in for next year. Oh, you've gone very quiet. Yeah, I do feel like a kind of, in my body right now, I do feel like an anticipation or an excitement about what's to come. That's like those magical sparkles coming out of the journal. For those of you that are interested in learning how to journal with me, I am running a winter retreat, and there's a class at the end of February, and you're very welcome to join me. I shall drop a link in below. Oh, we've got 2 now. See, it went all quiet and then 2 shoot out. Yes. Oh, there you go. Right. Would you Adam and Eve it? This is also a 3 and a 2, but it's the other way around. This one's 23 and this one's 32. Both 5. Both the energy of change. Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? Confidence. It comes with time and patience. So if you look at her body language, she's all kind of hunched up on the train, isn't she? So what is your body language like? So if you walk around looking like you're apologetic for taking up space in the world, you know, hunched down, not making eye contact with people. I'm not judging you, by the way. I'm just kind of talking it through. So because often we do, like my posture is terrible. Sit up straight. I walk like that. You want to push your chest out and your shoulders back and walk like you mean it. Take steps like you deserve to take up space in the world. She looks like she's going on a journey, doesn't she? So coming home to yourself, people talk about it like it's going on a journey, but actually it's not going backwards or forwards. It's not linear. It's spiraling. It's going within. It's going within yourself. And here we have on her bag a sword, and the Ace of Swords in the tarot deck represents truth. So you need to tell the truth to yourself. You need to let go of those lies that say, you need to let the lie die, that I'm not lovable, people reject me, people won't like me. How many times do you go into a group situation without any confidence, worrying whether people are going to like you or not? What about whether you like them? What about whether they're a good fit for you? Mostly people are a good fit for us when our energies are aligned, when we have shared values. And this is number 12. 2 and 1 make 3. And this is a card of expansion. Expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval. Yes. So we walk around looking for people to love us, saying, do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? And when you don't know who you are, that gives other people the opportunity to tell you who you are, or to have power over you and reject you. And I think bullies, people who are bullies, they can smell that vulnerability, that need to be liked in you, that approval. They can smell that's what you're searching for. And so they can have power over you by not giving it to you, by criticizing you and rejecting you. There is something called rejection sensitive dysphoria, I think it's called, or rejection sensitivity, and that is also very common with highly sensitive people. But I would just say it's common if in your family of origin you have been rejected or abandoned by a parent, maybe a parent who's absent, perhaps a parent who drinks, perhaps a parent that's got undiagnosed mental health issues, perhaps a parent who themselves is in survival mode and is spending all their time earning money to keep their head above water, and they haven't got time to spend with you. What do you see when you look at this card? I mean, she's present, isn't she? Because she's stopped to smell the flower. So she's not kind of rushing around the forest looking for approval. She's just very calm and centered in her own energy. Very different energy to that one, isn't it? Very different energy to her. Practice in front of the mirror. Journaling is a really good way to get to know yourself. You know, like they say, take yourself out on a date, don't they? If you were going out on a date with someone else, you'd slowly get to know them. You'd ask them questions. You'd ask what they like, what they don't like. Just get to know yourself like that. Let's pull some more cards to go with these ones. And I've got my friend's tarot deck today because I do like using that. But I feel like it's appropriate if we're talking about finding your true self, being your own best friend. Treating yourself. Do you treat yourself like you treat your friends, or do you treat other people better than you treat yourself? Do you put other people before you? Then we have some cards to go with. Let's clarify the come home to yourself card first. Ooh. I'm going to give these a little bit of a shuffle. I feel like they need warming up because I haven't used these ones for a while. So if this video is resonating with you, you could drop a little bear for a Paddington bear in the comments below. Or you could drop a journal, picture of a journal, or a heart if you want to put a purple heart, just to let me know that this is resonating. But on the note of Christmas, as it's Christmas time, I wanted to do this video because at this time a lot of us can feel alone, isolated, left out, invisible. And what I want to say to you, if that's you watching this, is that the reason you feel like that is because you haven't got the connection with yourself. It's always a sign that you're not connected to yourself in some way. And that's what I mean about coming back home and being in your body, being present, feeling all your feelings. You kind of know when you're not connected to yourself because you've gone up into your head and your inner critic is fired up and it's telling you that you're no good and you're rubbish and people won't like you. And it can also fortune tell, so try and predict the future. Oh, these people won't like me, this is going to be a disaster. Or you can go back over the past and start thinking to yourself, oh, I shouldn't have said that to that woman, and what did she mean when she said that, and perhaps she thought I meant that, and just like really really giving yourself a hard time over what's already been and gone. But that all of that stuff is happening up here, and that means that you're not in your body feeling your feelings. What are the feelings that are coming in? And notice how you feel around certain people, because some people won't be good for you to be around. Okay, death. Death is the card of endings and new beginnings. So this old part of you that's seeking approval needs to die. metaphorically speaking. No one's doing any dying. But it's a pattern. It's a pattern of behaviour where you're seeking out approval from other people, and that pattern needs to die. So the way that that pattern dies is by, first of all, becoming aware of it and then doing the complete opposite. So approve of yourself, or go somewhere and don't look for other people's approval. How do people show you that they don't approve of you? Your inner child will be very hypervigilant. She'll be scanning everywhere thinking, does this person like me? Does this person like me? Am I safe? Yeah, look. 3 of Swords, trauma. That is your wounding. Ouch. It was, go back to the original wound. It was so painful for the inner child to be abandoned and rejected by your family of origin. And they rejected you because you were different to them, because you were connected up to your feelings, and you were probably absorbing or playing out all of the unresolved stuff in your family of origin. How many of you were blamed for stuff in your family that wasn't your fault? How many of you shouldered a lot of blame, or got told that, you know, everything was going wrong because of you, or you make me angry, or all of that's bullshit. All of that's rubbish, but it hurt you. And so now it's time to let go of that part of you that seeks approval, and to be really compassionate and kind to this part of you that's wounded, that's hurting. Let's just have one more card. And I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and say thank you to the people that read my newsletter, the people that listen to my podcast, the people who come here and watch my YouTube videos, the people who send me direct messages and emails to say thank you, the people that have bought me coffees. I want to say thank you to my one-to-one clients, or people that have had readings with me this year. You're all amazing, and you are all part of this community. This is our community, and we all come together because we understand what it's like to be to have been treated like this as children. And the gift that we have as highly sensitive people is that we have empathy for one another. We get it, we understand. And by having our feelings validated, so these painful feelings of rejection and abandonment, by having them validated by other people, we feel seen. When someone hears you and listens to you, we feel seen. And to feel seen is to be loved. Absolutely. So we've seen Paddington today. We've seen him on the side of the road. Right, one more card. Oh, that's too many. Can we just have one, please? So what are you all doing for Christmas? Are you doing anything nice? Let me know in the comments what you're up to. I don't know if any of you are spending Christmas alone. Don't be afraid of being alone. I spent my first few Christmases when I was estranged from my family alone. And it was a bit weird to start off with, because of course it would be. Absolutely would be. Yes, look at these 2 cards that I've got. They go with the confidence card. We've got the Ace of Wands here, but it's reversed. So the Ace of Wands is about your inspiration, feeling inspired. It's your life force, your power. It's upside down because it's been zapped. It's been zapped by the wound. That's the wound. It's been turned on its head. And so you need to find your confidence. And there's Rachel. That's the 6 of Wands. That's the card of success and victory. So it's about finding your confidence. But the way to find your confidence is coming home to yourself. Is really getting to know yourself and seeing yourself, warts and all. It's probably also unpacking layers of denial around what happened in your family of origin growing up, because that doesn't all come undone at once, because it's quite a big thing to look at. And also, as you peel back those layers of denial, you also peel back shame. And it's toxic shame, because it's shame that was given to us by our parents but actually belonged to them. But then their toxic shame belonged to their parents, and it just gets passed on down the line. The antidote to shame is self-compassion, empathy and kindness. So it's about saying to yourself, when you're in a situation where you're feeling that wound is coming up and you're wanting someone to like you, you're looking for approval, I like myself. I like myself. I'm all right with who I am. I like myself. Do you like yourself? And, you know, lots of us have a fear of not being liked, because to be human, when we're human, we want to connect with other people. We want to connect with other people. That's part of being human. We're all here to connect and relate and understand each other. And when you come from a family that abandons or rejects you, there isn't that sense of emotional connection, which as an HSP, you will, you know, that makes you feel safe and seen. Right, let's pull one more card from the Believe in Your Own Magic deck, and then I'm going to say goodbye. And we'll just have a final message to finish. Another slurp of my tea. That's rather a nice cup of tea. You know, when you make a nice one, you want to drink it before it gets cold. Do you like drinking tea? Or do you like coffee? I love tea. I probably drink too much of it, although I've switched to decaf. Right. There's lots of 2s and 3s. That's what I'm drawn to quickly. Sorry, before. Look at all those 2s and 3s. 3 and 2 together make 5, which is the energy of change. And 3 is the energy of expansion. So it's like this Ace of Wands needs to turn up that way so you can step into your power and fully see yourself. One more card, please. One more card. I'm quiet again. Let's give them a little shuffle. What do these lovely people need to hear today before we say goodbye? I also say, think about the friends that are around you. Think about the people who are around you. How do you feel to be around them? Do you feel like you can be your true self? Oh, yeah. Princess. Princess in the Tower. You can be your own knight. So it's saying, don't wait for someone to come along and rescue you. You save yourself. So all the time we're walking around looking for people to love and approve of us. We give our power away when actually we need to be that person for ourselves. And she's got that sword of truth, and that's an even bigger sword of truth in that card, isn't it? Also, I'm drawn to the rose on there. She's smelling the rose. Rose is a very delicate feminine flower, and I think that speaks to your sensitivity. To hold that close to you, to be discerning about who you share that part of yourself with. And to not let anyone bully you or make you feel bad for being sensitive. The world needs more sensitive people. Got enough insensitive twat bags in the world, haven't we? All right, so let me know which card speaks to you the loudest. Is it the journaling one, coming home? Is it the confidence one? Is it rescuing yourself, saving yourself? Because I think what we end up doing is, if we don't save ourselves, is we end up finding other people to save. So how many of you are in friendships that are one-sided, where you're rescuing loads of lame ducks? A bit like I rescued Paddington from the roadside. Save yourself first. Oxygen mask on the aeroplane. Or is it that card, the approval card? Drop me a comment below, and if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you want to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel. Wishing you all such a merry Christmas, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.